All right. So I love weddings because you get to take a bunch of pictures and dress up, and the cake and the food and the ceremony and the chairs and more pictures, and it pretty much all just leads up to the final moment, which are the two obligatory speeches. So pretty glad that you guys came to listen to me today. That's why we're all here. So when I met Miranda and started writing this speech the same day, it was, I went through in my head a lot of things. The traditional best man speech usually blows. And so I was thinking, how can I make a speech that won't suck? And the first thing that came to my mind was ratios. So many elements are generally contained in a best man speech, the foremost of which is just downright ridicule of the groom. I'm just going to do about 60% of that tonight. The rest will be hopefully encouraging, and I'll leave out like the crying and that kind of stuff. So so like I said, when I first met Miranda, there were a few things that I noticed. The first was I had never met anybody who liked coffee more than Colin, and Miranda did, which was pretty far out. But one thing that we were talking last night, and I think we can all agree upon with Miranda, that one of the very first things I noticed, she's able to make you feel welcome, even if you don't know her at all. Just the way that she's able to strike up conversation and just make you feel like, man, I am way cooler than I thought, is just like incredible. And so that's something that was like, yeah, Colin will definitely need Miranda in his future life, because Colin can make you feel pretty awkward when you first meet him. Which brings me to the point of when I first met Colin. I was sitting in my dorm room in Bartlett Hall at UNI, the coolest dorm on campus, which it's because it's air conditioned, actually. Going to be a lot more bad jokes before we're finished here, so buckle in. So I was sitting, doing absolutely nothing. It was like the third day of class, and I just see this like long-haired presence in my doorway. I was like, wow, the rapture's here already. But it was just Colin Barker. And he was like, hey, are you James? Yeah. Who are you? Why are you in the basement of my dorm? Want to go climbing? All right. And so that was, the first time I met Colin. But again, it was just like, it was awesome. I literally was terrified of going to college. I prayed for like a month straight that I would not make it through my first semester without making any friends. And Colin was like one of my first friends in college. Which again, just like the hospitality that Colin offers, and just like who he is and how he is so thoughtful, just about how he invites and how he cares for people is, again, just complements Miranda's lack of awkwardness so well. And just something that I just really have appreciated. So I'm really glad that Miranda and Colin are together. Colin has this tendency to not really take care of himself very well. For instance, he once crashed on a skateboard, and I'm like 75% sure he broke his hand, sought no medical attention at all. We were like, dude, Colin, you have a broken hand. Go to the nurse or the doctor, and nothing. So pretty glad about that. Colin once washed his blue jeans in the sink and thought that he had a circulatory problem because his hands were blue for like a week. And it was just because they were new jeans. Again, the voice of reason would have been greatly welcomed in that moment. So thank God for Miranda. Let's see. Oh, yeah, and then one time Colin also crashed Miranda's dad's truck outside of her aunt's house. Again, like, thank God for Miranda, or Colin would probably be in jail. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm looking at my notes here to see if I have any bad jokes left or if I can move on. Yeah, it looks like I'll wrap it up. But in reality, in all seriousness, Colin and Miranda, I cannot be happier. You guys are just great, and I love that you pursue God with the same vigor with which you pursue each other. And I'm just so proud of both of you. It's like a proud father standing up here, seeing my two of my favorite people getting married. And yeah, so I just want you all to raise your glasses with me. I'm gonna go ahead and take Ian's here because I don't know where mine went. But this is to Colin. You keep it, keep it. This is to Colin and Miranda Barker. This is where I would insert a horrible toast, so we'll just skip that and say cheers.
Hi, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Madeline, Miranda's sister, and also maid of honor. I'm not married. um, I want to thank all of you for joining Miranda and Colin in celebrating this amazing day. When Miranda asked me to be her maid of honor, I can't tell you how excited I was. I knew the job would let me share this day with my sister and be a part of all the special events that came with it. Miranda. Oh my God. Okay. The girl I always wanted to be and the woman I've always respected. I've always looked up to you. The way you cherish life and love is something I try every day to bring into my own life. Colin, I remember that day at church when you asked Miranda for her phone number, and she was so excited that she left Carson at church. Ever since you came into her life, her smile and joy has never faded. And what I've seen with my own eyes while you've shared holidays, birthdays, and family gatherings is that your love for Miranda makes her happier than I've ever seen her. And I mean, how couldn't it? Their engagement was straight out of the storybook. It was perfect. It was so perfectly Miranda and Colin. When I was thinking about what advice I should give you for your new life together, I thought about mom and dad and what qualities make their marriage so strong. And I thought about how much they laugh together and how they're always making each other smile. So my advice for you is to never stop laughing. Enjoy every moment together and cherish them. When she starts cheating at spoons, laugh. When he maybe doesn't want to eat the weird Indian food you make, laugh. Because if you can laugh with each other, you're doing just fine. That laughter will carry you through the ups and downs. Embrace the little things, the times he opens the door for you or gives you his jacket when it's cold outside, or when he brings you home flowers after a hard day. Because in those little things, it'll remind you of how blessed you are that God gave you each other. And finally, love each other, support each other, and make each other stronger. So ladies and gentlemen, will you please raise your glass as we toast Miranda and Colin Barker.